Here is something that I just don't get. I don't get how the men's movement, how to be a man, all this search for masculinity could be so freaking blind. They mimic everything the same is what they hate, what they're fighting against, which is like feminism or extremism or even independence. They stop becoming that. It's almost as if men got the job to be a man, the role to be a man, the responsibility of being a man, and you almost didn't want to take it. So instead of actually taking it and manning up, developing yourself, seeing who you are, going through life's experiences to determine so many of the great attributes of masculinity, which I can generalize, but you have to determine for yourself, that instead of accepting those things and going through the experience of it, you want to control other people. You want to start shaping them or turning something into some sort of power play that will somehow give you your identity. You got to realize how fucked up that is. I mean, the other day I was looking at something and there was a guy in the whole men's rights community, which, I mean, hey, I'm a part of. I've been involved in the business as a coach in it for 10 years, right? For 11 years. But they were talking about how splitting parental roles is somehow a weak part of our culture. And it's screwed up our culture. And see, the thing is I do that. I mean, my wife does a ton of shit, man. I have a good people. I have what you wish for. But, well, at least I seem to think so. But man, I mean, I have it easy. I have it easy. But if I ever need a fucking article or a movement or a group of people to tell me what my individual decision is, man, that is the opposite of independence. That is the opposite of masculinity. That is the opposite of identity. That's the opposite of empowerment. That is me being a slave to an idea. That is me not knowing enough for who I am or having faith in that or fearing the pain that might come from the repercussions of that. So much to the point that I can't make a decision for myself. And believe me, I needed a cookie cutter many times in my life. There are many times in my life where I did need to know what it was or the right suggestions to be the right kind of parent, the right kind of money maker, the right kind of man, the right kind of sex partner, the right kind of friend, all these things that I needed a definition for. But guess what? That's because I didn't fucking know. And I needed to be told. And I needed those training wheels on long enough to where I could actually ride the bike and take them off. And see, that's the biggest problem, man. We have these men's groups. We have these coaches, these movements, these people up in high places talking about the same shit that I worried about and was insecure about in high school. And that's the fucking problem, that there's an audience of grown men acting like fucking kids, looking for an answer fed by somebody else, all because you were afraid to pick up the fucking job. Well, here's the job. You're a man. You're born with a dick. You're born with a balls. You have all these urges. You have all these choices. You have all these different expressions of yourself. And sometimes you're going to be dominant. Sometimes you're going to be powerful. And sometimes you're going to be weak. And sometimes you're not going to win. And sometimes you're going to have to cave. And sometimes you're going to have to do a favor for somebody else. And sometimes your social image might be compromised by you deciding to make a personal gesture towards a friend. And man, God forbid, a woman. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck, make your own decisions. You got to live your life. You've got to own it. You've got to be you, and you've got to learn to make those choices of what's the right and wrong and what's the trade-off. Now look, don't get me wrong. I've made plenty of those wrong decisions. I've made plenty of those frontings. I've made plenty of those things where I regretted and going, you know what? Maybe I stepped too far. But I don't want to have guilt over them, because guess what? I consider myself a man, and one of the qualities of being a man is correcting the things that I've done wrong and having the wisdom to live a life where I don't do them anymore. In any case, that's just a thought. Keep yourself in check. Who's running your life? Is it you? Because if it's you, you don't need me to tell you what to be doing.